Welcome, everyone. Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on large language models. We'll start with the basics, but then we're diving deep into the advanced reasoning that is, no joke, completely changing how we as developers tackle problems and ship code. All right, so here's the plan. We're going to start with what an LLM even is. Think of it as the internet's brain. Then we'll get into the really cool stuff, how some AI can now actually think through a problem. After that, we'll cover why even a thinking AI needs tools to be useful, check out who the big players are right now, and wrap it all up with a leaderboard to see who's really at the top of their game. So, to really get a handle on this, let's kick things off with a pretty simple, but honestly, a really powerful idea. Just imagine for a second, what if you could take all the text on the entire internet and compress it into one single zip file? What would that actually be like? AI researcher Andrej Karpathy absolutely nailed it with this analogy. Think of an LLM as a giant, lossy zip file of the web. It's not a perfect searchable database. It's more like a fuzzy, probabilistic memory of everything it's ever read. Just like us. It remembers popular stuff really well, and the more niche topics, well, those are a bit hazy. So getting a little more technical, these LLMs are built on a special kind of neural network called a transformer. And their one single job, their entire purpose in life, is surprisingly simple. They just predict the next most likely word in a sentence. But because they've trained on petabytes of data, they get so good at this simple task that it looks like they understand language, context, and even ideas. Now, for us as developers, this is the part you really need to get. When you talk to an LLM, your prompt gets chopped up into pieces called tokens. You and the AI are basically building this conversation together inside something called the context window. Think of it like the model's short-term memory, or its RAM, for this specific chat. Everything it says next is based only on what's in that window. And here's the kicker. Its long-term knowledge is frozen in time, based on when it was trained. Okay, so let's build on that. That whole static knowledge thing is a huge limitation, right? So what happens when we throw a problem at these models that you can't just solve by remembering a web page? A problem that needs actual step-by-step reasoning. So check this out. Here's a real-world example. I was dealing with this incredibly subtle bug in some machine learning code. A gradient check was failing, the code looked fine, but it just wasn't working. So naturally, I threw it at a top-of-the-line standard LLM. And boom, the standard model replied instantly. It gave me a bunch of generic debugging tips, stuff I'd already checked. It was fast, yeah, but it was totally wrong. So then I gave the exact same prompt to one of these newer thinking models. It took a full minute, but it came back with the exact solution, pinpointing a tiny parameter mismatch. So what the heck was it doing for that extra minute? Okay, this is where it gets really cool. This slide shows us what's happening behind the scenes. On the left, the standard model just tries to guess the answer right away and fails. But look at the right. The thinking model doesn't jump to a conclusion. It uses its own context window as a scratchpad. It writes out its own little inner monologue, thinking to itself, okay, let me check this, let me verify that, and only after it figures out the problem does it write the final answer for you. It's reasoning. This whole process is an absolute game changer. The model isn't just matching patterns anymore. It's learned a strategy for problem solving. This is why, for those really tough bugs or complex logical puzzles, that extra minute of thinking time is so worth it. You get a much, much better answer. But even an AI that can think has a major blind spot. It's still fundamentally a closed book, right? It's that zip file from a year ago. Its knowledge isn't current at all. So if we ask it something simple and time-sensitive, like say about a TV show that hasn't come out yet, we smack right into that knowledge cutoff wall. That information just didn't exist when the model was trained. And yep, there's the proof. The model straight up tells you, hey, I'm stuck in the past. It can't answer a question that a 5-second Google search would solve. So the solution is obvious. Give it tools. The most important one is an internet search. This lets the model pull fresh, real-time info right into its context window, patching its own knowledge gap on the fly. And when you add other things like a Python interpreter to run code or tools for deep research, you transform the LLM from a static, closed-book reasoner into an active problem-solving agent. Okay, so now that we know what these advanced AIs can do, they can think and they can use tools, the million-dollar question for any developer is, which one should you actually use? Let's size up the big three. So you've got OpenAI, who's been the king of the hill for a while. Their platform is super mature and feature-rich. But then you have these incredibly fast followers, Anthropic and Google. Their whole strategy is to make these advanced reasoning features more accessible, building them right into their main models. They're really coming for the crown. Talk is cheap, though. Performance is what really matters. So let's look at the actual data from public benchmarks and see how these models stack up against each other in the real world. This chart is from the chatbot arena, which is awesome because it's not some synthetic test. It's based on thousands of real people voting on which AI gave a better answer. And the main takeaway here is, wow, it is an incredibly tight race. At the very top, the models are so close in quality that the best one can literally change from week to week. It means your choice is becoming less about raw intelligence and more about the features and tools each platform offers. Okay, this table right here is basically your cheat sheet. If you want the best all-arounder with rock-solid tools, GPT-4o is probably your safest bet. But if you live and breathe code or writing, Claude 3.5 is an absolute powerhouse, especially with its artifacts feature for running code in the chat. And Gemini? It has huge potential, especially if you're deep in the Google ecosystem, but its tool integration just isn't quite there yet. The right choice really depends on what you're building. And that leaves us with this one last thought to chew on. We started this journey with models that could basically finish our sentences. Now we have models that can reason, that can go out and do research, and that can execute code to solve really complex problems. So are we just building a fancier paperclip assistant? Or are we actually programming the very first generation of autonomous partners? The answer to that is going to define the next decade of our entire field.